and welcome to Live in the Solution. I'm your astrologer and tarot card reader, here with your readings for November the 11th through November the 17th. If you're new, welcome. I really hope you enjoy these readings and that you'll come back. And if you are returning, thank you so much for your loyalty and your support. I really appreciate you. Thank you for your likes, comments, shares, and for all the new subscribers too. Now, these are general readings, guys. They are for the collective. So please take what resonates and leave the rest. They come in 3 sections. The intro, which is this, the astrological report, and then the tarot reading. And there are timestamps below in the show more section. If you have a phone, it's a little arrow pointing down, click on that and all the information is in there. It's also for your sun, moon and rising, so you will find the links to the other videos in that section too. So listen, as I said before, it's for the collective, these readings. So if you would like a more tailored, in-depth, personalized reading, please click on this link here, which will take you to my website and you can look at the kind of readings that I offer. What else? Yes, I have a Facebook group, guys, and that Facebook group, it's a private group. You have to ask to be to get in, to be included, and that link is below too. Now, in that Facebook group, it's a really positive environment. People post positive things, and then every 2 weeks I do a live feed specifically for my Facebook group, and in that it correlates every 2 weeks. It correlates with the new moon and the full moon, and we look at how anybody who attends the live feed, we look at their horoscope and how they're receiving the energies from the new moon or the full moon respectively. And I also have tarot cards on hand and I answer questions. We hang out for about an hour and we really enjoy ourselves. So if you would like that, this link to that will be below also, so check that out. And another way to support this channel and my creative content is through Patreon. So you can click on that just to check out my Patreon page. I do post things on Patreon that I don't post anywhere else. And I want to take this opportunity to really thank my patrons. Thank you so much. You really help me out. So I really appreciate you. Now, what else? Yes, let's go to the astrology report, shall we? Hello and welcome to the astrology section of your reading for November the 11th through November the 17th. And wow, that's all I can say. Listen, the full moon in Taurus on Tuesday is only the tip of the iceberg. We have all this dynamic celestial sky this week. Some really wonderful aspects are happening this week. Now, I'll start with some of the exact aspects and when they're happening, and then I'll go on to what's going on with the full moon. So Monday, November the 11th, the sun is conjunct Mercury. That means it's right next to Mercury, right? Very close. Tuesday, we have the full moon in Taurus, and we have Mars sextile Jupiter. That's a beautiful harmonious aspect going on there. Wednesday the 13th, we have Mercury trine Neptune. That's also a lovely harmonious connection between the two planets. And Thursday, November the 14th, Venus is square Neptune. That is a challenging aspect. We also have other energies and aspects that are moving into place or moving out of place. So they all play a role actually in the celestial sky. So let's start with the full moon in Taurus, shall we? The full moon, as most of you know, is when the moon is opposite the sun, and it's actually the sun's reflection that illuminates the moon. So with the moon in Taurus, and that means with the moon in Taurus, the sun is in Scorpio because they're opposite each other on the wheel, right, in the chart. The moon is exalted in Taurus, which means that it can express itself fully. So the moon is nurturing, magnetic, feminine. And in Taurus, the moon is good-natured, generous, and loyal. There's a tendency for being emotionally connected to one's values and material possessions, and a strong need for security, right? Material security. At the same time as this full moon, the moon is in a harmonious aspect to Pluto. Now, this creates an energy of sensitivity and intense emotional feelings. It's a being absorbed with interpersonal relationships, of being coveted over one's emotions and feelings. We want to kind of hide that. We don't want that out in the open. At the same time, I am displaying the chart of the full moon, so maybe you can follow along with some of the things that I'm saying, and you can get a picture of what's going on too. For those of you who understand charts. Now, so it brings in intuition and psychic ability. The moon's relationship with Pluto, and it can give you a strong look. It's being able to read people and recognize inauthenticity. We can see through people. We know when someone's not being authentic. And it can give you a strong will and focus to accomplish goals with which to manifest your dreams. This is like a dream creating full moon, right? We can create our dreams. We can manifest our dreams. We can make them real. It can also bring up control issues. So we need to be mindful of the urge to control situations and or people. It can be expressed through us being a bit bossy, perhaps, during this transit. It is also worth mentioning that the moon at the same time is kind of in a loose, harmonious aspect with Neptune, which further enhances our psychic and intuitive abilities. It can also give us a really deep appreciation for music, art, and nature. We also need to be mindful not to sacrifice ourselves for others, and keep a firm grip on reality, because Neptune can skew our perceptions of what's really going on. However, Saturn is connecting harmoniously to Neptune and to the moon, so there is some structure and discipline to bring ideas into tangible creations. So we just want to make sure that we're not compromising ourselves for others. And if we focus on our creativity, we can really bring things to life. Now, the sun in Scorpio is right next to Mercury, which brings in creative thinking and energetic communication with a bigger picture view. So because Mercury is still in retrograde, there can be some misunderstandings, but they can easily be rectified because of all these positive, wonderful aspects that are going on. Now, the Sun and Mercury have also have a harmonious connection to Pluto and Saturn, somewhat to a bit lesser of a degree, which brings in the need to be recognized for one's accomplishments, for being in the spotlight. And the concentration is on speech and communications, yet again. So this sets the stage for shrewdness in business and negotiations. Now, that's a wonderful aspect. And then listen, that's not all. The Sun and Mercury are also harmoniously connected to Neptune, bringing in creative and visionary talents. So it's amazing for literary accomplishments, particularly writing, fantasy, poetry, or even in the visual arts. Any creative project will, take off and will really work. So now also, I'm finished yet, guys. Mars is sextile Jupiter. Now, this is a wonderful, confident energy, abundant energy. It's like we're energized, right? Feeling really excited and confident about ourselves and really good luck in materialism with a penchant for higher learning or spiritual studies in alignment, perhaps. And long distance travel is also on the table with this aspect. Perhaps you're going on a long trip or you're planning one. You may be contemplating a spiritual retreat even in a remote location. So an optimistic nature with a love of freedom and independence is the underlying beautiful energy of that aspect. Now, then on Thursday, we move into Venus square Neptune, but all these aspects are kind of happening all week simultaneously, right? So it's kind of a big mishmash. You have to kind of choose you have the power to choose your energy and how you want to direct it. Now, Venus is square Neptune, and that's a challenging aspect. It brings in issues of self-esteem, confidence, and insecurities. So if you have a poor self-image during this transit, you may have a distorted view of your partner or your date if it's a new, or your acquaintance if it's a new relationship. You may see relationships in an odd way. Perhaps you have an idealistic romantic storybook vision of relationships, which can lead you to ignore red flags when you meet someone new. You could get taken advantage of, become a doormat in a relationship. If the relationship is rocky already, if it's on firm ground, I think you'll be able to move through this aspect pretty unscathed. But if it's new and it's a bit rocky, then, you could kind of, become the doormat, or worse, allow inappropriate behavior in some way. It's important to practice acceptance and the love of oneself during this time, and I would look at this aspect also creates a heightened need for love and affection. So I would resist the urge to commit or to trust someone until after this transit. Focus instead on building self-esteem and self-respect and confidence. All right, guys. So I told you that's like major this week, right? So without further ado, let's go to your tarot reading, shall we? Aquarius! Welcome to your reading for November the 11th through November the 17th. What wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings, and helpful information can you give Aquarius for this coming week? Aquarius, Aquarius. Please fill these cards with love, abundance, and hope. 3 cards for Aquarius, please. 3 cards for Aquarius. What wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings, and helpful information can you give Aquarius for this coming week? 2 more cards for Aquarius. 2 more cards for Aquarius. Oops, they've turned over. 2 more cards for Aquarius. What wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings, and helpful information can you give Aquarius? Okay. 2 more cards for Aquarius, please. There's 1. 1 more card for Aquarius. There's 2. There you go. Lovely. All righty then. Now we have the clarifying cards for Aquarius. Aquarius. What wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings, and helpful information can you give, Aquarius, through these clarifying cards for November the 11th through November the 17th? May these cards be filled with love, abundance, and hope. Please clarify. Oh, there we go. Please clarify. Oh gosh, the whole bloody deck came out there. Got a lot of messages, Aquarius, a lot. There's a lot going on. Okay, here we go. Please clarify. There, oof, there we go. And please clarify. Oh, please clarify. Here we go. Love, love will keep us together. Let's take a look at your cards, shall we? Okay. Okay. Oh, sorry, it's a bit, I've got the mic in there. All right. There we go. The first card out is the Ace of Swords, clarified by the Knight of Swords. And then you have the Strength card, clarified by the Nine of Wands. And then you have the Three of Wands, clarified by the Ace of Cups. Aquarius, let's see what's going on. Okay. The first card out is the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is the Ganesh of the tarot. So whatever, I feel that, okay, so I'm just going to go with this. So this is like blocks are being removed. So it's probably felt like a difficult journey. And there have been roadblocks in the way. And when the Ace of Swords comes in, it's like, you know, it's like wielding a big machete in a jungle and carving your way in. It's going to require some elbow grease and a little bit of work, but things are, the road is going to be cleared for you ahead. Things are going to start moving and shaking they will, because you have the Ace of Swords. So what has felt stagnant and, you know, not moving forward, like you feel that you haven't gained any momentum, will change right now. So you have the Knight of Swords. Now the Knight of Swords, he comes in, you know, here I come to save the day. You know, he's rushing in and his sword is, you know, held high and he's getting ready to chop anybody's head off that's doing anything nefarious. He's the champion for justice, right? So he comes in and wields his sword to those swords on those who haven't been completely honest. So this can also mean litigation, but yes, it can mean that a judgment is coming down for you if you have any kind of arbitrary decision that's coming down for you. Are you going to get an apartment? Are you going to get, you know, the job? Are you going to get paid? Whatever it is, there's a decision coming down. It's coming and it's going to fall in your way as long as you have been above board and you have treated people well. And I mean, look, none of us are perfect. So I'm not saying you've got to be perfect, but this is definitely a karmic card that's coming in. So it's all contingent upon your behavior and, you know, leading up to this. I will also say that he is very quick to judge, and has no area in handing down a sentence, like chopping off your head. You know, so I would definitely be careful about how I judge situations as well. I wouldn't be too quick to judge. That's what I'm getting for some of you as well. So I think that the situation at hand that has felt stagnant is going to start moving forward no matter what, because nights are all about movement, and things are moving forward. Oh, Spirit is here, darling. The nose is going 10 to the dozen. So the next card out is the Strength card. So look, it's important, if you're quick to judge, sometimes we want to kind of pounce on somebody and, pass judgment on them. But I would say that your strength is in kindness and compassion. So this is about self-discipline. It's about, it's about having courage. It's also about standing in your own, being empowered. Don't hand off your power to somebody else. Don't give it away. Be confident. Don't underestimate yourself. And, you can handle anything that comes down the pike, but remember to always be compassionate and kind when something is presented to you. And look, you have the 9 of Wands clarifying the strength card. It's almost like you feel like giving up. So this is also one of those feelings that you want to give up. It's like things aren't working, they're not going in your way, and it's like nothing's ever, things are just standing still, and you want to get ahead and you can't get ahead. But this is saying don't give up. The 9 of Wands is like, in his dog-eared, he's tired of protecting what's his, what's rightfully his reputation or his honor, whatever he's protecting here. He's kind of wants to give up. But actually, the 9 of Wands is saying, don't give up. Yes, listen, you may have lost the battle, but you can win the war. So just take a minute. You're almost at this finish line, right? That's 9. You've only got to get to 10. So take a minute, lick your wounds, rejuvenate, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get right back in there. Because it's worth defending your reputation or whatever you've built so far. That's worth protecting. So stay in the fight. Stay in there. Don't let it go. Just kind of regroup and look at it, come at it from a different angle. You may have to, but definitely always think, and always your strength is, you have the courage to be kind and compassionate. Right? It takes courage to be kind and compassionate, because some people want to see you go in swords a-blazing, right? And think that, kindness and compassion is a weakness, but it's not. It's a strength. It's what's going to help you win this. Like coming in rationally, kind and compassionate, and you'll get to the finish line. And look, here you've got the 3 of Wands. It's about seeing your future optimistically. It's about making long-term optimistic plans. This guy, his ship's coming. He's just waiting for it to be, all the riches to be unloaded. He's making, you would make your long-term plans too if you were sitting there watching your ship get unloaded with all those riches. You'd be like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do, the ships come in. This is really about seeing your future optimistically. It's about really seeing the potential and making those plans. Where do you want to be in 5 or 10 years? Ask yourself that. Where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years? Make those plans. Write them down. There's power in the written word. There's power in reading it out loud, in saying it. It's powerful. And look, you have the gift of love, darling. And, this is intuition and psychic ability, but definitely cups are emotions. They're keeping your emotions positive. Be empowered, be kind, be compassionate, be courageous. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. Just don't be a doormat, because, Venus square Neptune can be that self-sacrificing. You don't have to be that. But, this is also, listen, trust your gut feeling. Don't second guess. Look, how many times have you done something and you say, you know what, I knew I shouldn't have done that. I got this feeling and I ignored it. And how many times has that happened to you? I'm sure more than once. Well, guess what? That feeling is, you can take it to the bank. So do not second guess your gut, your intuition. Don't second guess it this week. It is true. And keep everything above board. Cross your I's, cross your T's. Do everything for the higher good of everyone. Don't take any shortcuts. And keep everything above board. And and keep your side of the street clean. It's very important to do that this week because karma is at play and we don't want that ripple of karma to come out. We want it all good, filled with love and abundance. This is Jupiter. This is love. Oh, I see abundance in love and material wealth. And you are going to win the war. You may not have won the battle, but you're going to win the war. You're going to get to number 10 and it's like 10 Downing Street. Oh my God. I'm incorrigible, guys. Aquarius. But 10, you know, that's like the finish line. Things are going to work out for you, Aquarius. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to like this video, share it with friends, family, neighbors, co-workers, social media. I'm almost at 10K, guys. Help me, push me over that ledge, the 10K ledge. Comment. I live for comments and feedback, and that also helps me get, you know, it makes my channel more visual when there's more comments, and I definitely respond to every comment. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Mwah! I love you all, and I'll see you next week.